Hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. So we are live inside the Art of Mastering iTicket Sales. And I'm going to take you through a training that I've been heavily promoting, right? Take you through a training to show you how to generate hundreds of organic leads in like 24, 48 hours. So I'm just going to wait literally like 30 seconds, 60 seconds, and then we're going to jump into this. I want to make sure that just give a little bit of time for a few people to join in, to jump in. If you join me on the live, then give me a hashtag live. Let me know that you can see me. Let me know that you can hear me. Let me know that everything is working in from your end. I want to make sure that you can read this as well, okay? It's important that you can see this. From what I can see, it looks okay. I want to make sure that you can... Sound quality sounds all right. I can see one person showing up. Let me know who it is, who's watching. Say hi, let me know where you're coming in from. So I am going to get started with this simply because in 60 minutes, in an hour, I do have a group support call, what I call around the room support call for the clients, private clients inside the Six-Figure Accelerator program. So let's do this, right? Who's excited about this? Hi, Suzanne. Good to hear you. Good to see that you're here. Thank you for showing up. Suzanne, I know that this is going to serve you. Absolutely. And anybody that attends this, if you're struggling to generate leads organically, then this training is going to blow your mind. It's going to blow your mind just how simple it is to be able to generate leads organically within 24, 48 hours. So let's get started, right? Let's jump in. Let's start at the top. So first of all, let's just kill a few myths, right? Let's kill a few myths. Up to this date, up to present day, whatever you're doing, however you're building your business, you might be struggling to generate leads. The thing is about leads is that leads are the lifeblood of your business. If you cannot generate leads, then you can't grow your business, because from a lead, you can convert a lead into an appointment, and an appointment into a sales call, and a sales call into a client. And when they accept that they want to become a client of yours, then that's when they're going to part with cash, right? But it all starts with lead gen. If you can't generate leads, good quality leads, then you're never going to be able to do anything else, in the process to building your business. So this is where it all starts, right? This is where it all starts. So some of the myths that and beliefs that I know a lot of coaches buy into is like, well, okay, so to be able to generate leads organically, you need a huge following, right? You need a massive following. Listen, I don't have a massive following. There's just over 100 people inside this new group, right? This new data group. Yeah, I'm generating leads and I'm getting clients, right? I'm generating hundreds of leads organically. My personal profile, right? I'm posting content out there. It doesn't really seem from the outside world that like I've got any following. There's not a lot of communication or engagement on my content. Yeah, I'm still generating leads each and every day organically. So it's like what you don't see, that's where the magic happens. You don't see everything, right? You don't see everything. So, by the way, as I'm going through this, if you've got any questions, ask the questions. I might not get to answer them as I'm going through this because I don't want to get off course. But I can promise you I will get back to them at some point, either today or tomorrow, and I will answer those questions for you, okay? So, another myth is that like organic's dead. Believe me, organic is not dead. You might have bought into that concept because it's not working for you. So you're thinking because it's not working, it's dead and it doesn't work, right? That's not the case. I'm going to show you just how simple it is and that it does work. I'm also going to show you as well that you don't need to be an influencer, right? You don't need to have a massive email marketing list. You don't need to have what other people tell you that you need in order to generate organic leads. You don't need a following and all that stuff, right? If I'm taking clients on board And the reason why clients come to me is because they don't have a following. They don't have an email list. They don't have all these other things, right? Yet straight out of the gate, I get them to generate organic leads very, very quickly. And they don't have all of this stuff that people are telling you that you need. So first of all, I want to give some context around where this sits in the process of developing and growing your business. So I'll take my pen top off. Hopefully these pens are going to work. I've got so many markers and some are working, some are not working, so I might have to change through. So when you're building your business, there's different stages of building your business, and there's different pillars within your business. There's you build it phase, and then you grow it phase, and then you run it phase, and then there's other phases like evolving your business. So hopefully you can see this. What we're going to be focusing on today is, hopefully this red pen here is going to work. We're going to be focusing on here, right? We're going to be focusing on this section here, growing it. But in order for this to happen, it's essential that this is in place as well first. So let me just show you what this looks like. I've just dropped my pen. So let me just show you what this looks like. Because if you don't get this down properly, then this really will not work, right? So it's fundamental that we get this down properly. So when you're building your business, it's the fundamentals of your business, and then you grow your business upon the fundamentals that you've set in stone. Typically what I find is that coaches, they have a service, they have something they want to promote. They've not really built a business. They've just got this thing that they want to do. And they jump straight into growing it. But because they've not built the fundamentals, the foundations within the business, they don't necessarily grow it. They can't grow it. And they're constantly firefighting. They're constantly coming back and stepping into this section and jumping. And what I tend to with clients, let's build it. Let's get the foundation down first, and then we can move forward. So I'm just going to quickly show you what the foundations look like. So the foundations look like, okay, so understanding what marketplace you are operating in. There's 4 big marketplaces, right? You need to understand what marketplace you're operating in. Now you need to understand, okay, so what is your message to that marketplace? And then we need to look at the messenger. So the messenger is you. We need to make sure that you're prime, you're optimized, you are, you're unstoppable, and you're prepared to go out there into the marketplace with that message without any fear of, resistance that's going to stop you from doing the things that you need to do. So marketplace. The message to the marketplace, messenger. Looking at the model of your business, how that is structured, right? Money. How much are you going to charge for your coaching, for your program, for the results that you deliver your clients, right? What is your mission? That's it. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that is based around the 6 M's of success in growing your business. So this is the fundamentals of growing your business you really need to have in place, because then that allows you then to go into the marketplace, to know exactly what marketplace you're going into, what your message is, you're optimized, you know what you're selling, you know the price point that you're selling at. It's backed by a mission that's creating this this passion and this purpose that you're here to provide. So that's really the fundamentals. So that's what we teach clients to do. And then it's okay, let's go out there to the marketplace to market. Marketing is another M. So that's actually 7. Apologize about that. So then it's marketing, right? Which is lead gen. And there's another part of this, which is scaling, right? But that's for another conversation. So we're going to be focusing around there, but I wanted just to give you some concept a concept of what you really need to have in place first to make this happen. So now we're going to jump into this. I just flip this over. Again, if you can, if you're grabbing this, if you're understanding this, anything that you learn as I go through this, if this is if you have an aha moment, it's like, wow, yeah, that's amazing. I've learned that. And, I didn't understand that, but now I get it. Then let me know. Let me know any breakthroughs, anything new that you're learning. And again, any questions that you might have as I'm going through this. So when it comes to lead gen, what we use is the flywheel method, right? So and this isn't something that I just created. This is something that I've been working for years and years and years and years. And this is what's been providing me leads for my business. So the flywheel method, and I want to give you and again, the concept of this and what we're going to be focusing on today, what part of the flywheel we're going to be focusing on today. So if I just draw these here. So the flywheel consists of a few moving parts. So this first part is traffic. The second part is nurture. The third part is convert. And this is strategy session, right? Or sales call, whatever. Now, this is obviously where the money is. Sorry if I've got my back towards you, just so I can draw this. Right, so this is where the money is. Typically what I find is majority of people are trying to work over here and they're not working over here. If they don't work over here, then none of this will work. You see, what you need to understand and realize is that the traffic turns this wheel. And this section turns this wheel. And this section turns this cog. So if we don't have this in place, none of this will work. If we don't have this in place, then none of this will work. So again, if you're jumping on this halfway through, let me know that you're here. If you've got any questions, ask them and I'll get to answer them later for you. So why this is a flywheel? So if you imagine a flywheel, if you imagine a water mill, right? So I'll just give you an idea of why this is the way this is. If you imagine a flour mill, if you imagine a flour mill is propelled by a big water wheel outside of the mill, right? Next to a running stream. And that stream is moving the big wheel. Now it's the big wheel that's attached to all these other cogs inside the flour mill that turns all these other wheels, right, that couldn't turn if the water wheel wasn't turning outside, right? If the water stops running, then everything else stops working. And this is the same principle, right? So the water's turning the big wheel outside, which the big wheel is turning all these other cogs inside the mill that then allows for the big stones at the bottom to rotate. And that's where the guy that runs the mill, I guess, I don't know if they've got a specific name, they're going to put the wheat in there and the big stones grind the wheat to produce the flour. But if it wasn't for the water turning this big cog, then nothing else would work. The wheels wouldn't turn and there'd be no flour produced at the end of the day. Your business is the same. Your business is exactly the same. Traffic, right? If you haven't got a traffic, then none of these other cogs will turn. And it doesn't matter how hard you try to get people to book a call with you. If this is not working, then that's not happening. And if that's not happening, neither is that, right? Neither is that. So it's important, right? It's mission critical that you understand this at this higher level. This is why I'm teaching you this today, before we actually jump in. So you get understand the bigger picture of what you need to have in place, right? So if we now look at this on a deeper level, why do we need traffic? Well, traffic gives you exposure, right? And exposure gives you attention. This here, if you cannot get attention in today's world, right, then you ain't going to do this. This is just not going to happen, right? Because attention today is the biggest commodity. So with your message, to the world, it's important that that's dialed in. This is why we have the fundamentals in place first, right? This is why this is set up. So that when we go out into the marketplace to market our message, we can get exposure and we can grab attention. Those who grab the most attention wins. If you're not grabbing attention, then that ain't happening. And it's just not. It doesn't matter how hard you try, right? So, who wants attention? You need attention. And I'm going to show you how to get attention. So, let me just make sure that I am on track with what I'm going to show you. So, this is what we need, right? So, there's a few ways to get attention. There is organic or there's paid. What I'm going to share with you, right, works for both. But today we're focusing on organic. I have had what I'm going to share with you, right? I have had it work many times on paid. I've mastered paid. Right? I'm now mastering organic, and I've been doing this for a long time. So let's flip over. So in order for this to happen, right, what do we need? Right? We actually only need two things. We need an audience. You need an audience. And you need a message to that audience. You need an audience and you need a message to that audience. Your message needs to match your audience. Your message needs to be relevant to your audience. Your message needs to be appealing to your audience. You can have a message, but if you don't have an audience, then that message is just going to get lost, right? You can have an audience, but if you've got the wrong message in front of that wrong audience, then you're not going to get attention. But if you've got the right audience and the right message, now what you create is the perfect, in fact, I'm not going to write that there, perfect message, market, match. And ultimately, that's what you want. You want to have the right message in front of the right marketplace, and it's a fit, right? It's a match. Perfect message to market match. So when you go out there to the marketplace and you post your message, right? You position your message in front of this audience, then it's attractive. It grabs their attention. It's interesting because right now, there's that many people scrolling on Facebook, right? There's that many of your competitors out there trying to get your marketplace's attention. It needs to be you. It needs to be you that's grabbing their attention. So when they're swiping through, it's like you stop them in the tracks, right? You stop them. Your message stops them. It grabs their attention, but it doesn't just like grab their attention. It keeps their attention, right? And just like reading. And then they take some type of a call to action at the end, which then signals to you that potentially they could be a client, right? So, perfect message to market match. If you don't have that, then again, it's not going to work. And this again, if we go back here, this again is why, not that one.
Interesting question.
Oh, you're welcome, sir. But this is why, again, we make sure we've got the fundamentals down so this works. Right? So when a client goes out there, when you go out there, it's like, boom, you're not messing around and it works. Perfect message to market match. So on Facebook right now, right, we're talking organic. There's other people, there's built up pockets of audiences, right? Potentially those people inside those audiences, right, those groups potentially could also be your clients as well. Right? So there's a lot of people out there in the world that's done the heavy lifting for you. All you have to do is discover where your audience is and position your message in front of them. Listen, what I'm going to share with you now is so simple, right? You're going to question if this actually works because it's that simple. But because it's simple, what I don't want you to do is devalue what I'm sharing. Because what I'm going to share today, right? What I'm going to share today is earn me money every week, right? It's brought clients to me, right? Some of the things I'm going to show you is like, one single post has brought me in 25K. Another post has brought me in 15K. Another post has brought me in 17K. So I don't want you to devalue the simplicity of what I'm sharing. To create something of greatness, to create success, it's not about complexity, it's about simplicity. But then it's about repeating it over and over and over and over again. Consistency, right? So, and this is what I did going back quite a few years ago when I first started, right? So there's groups out there that you can join where your target market is. There's thousands of groups that you can go to, right? There's full of people that's suffering with a problem that you solve as a coach or as a consultant or as an expert, right? Or as a course creator. Many times, right, a coach has come to me and they said, I don't know how to attract my audience. I don't know where my target market is hanging out. I don't know where my clients are hanging out. Well, your clients, right, are speaking to other people that solve a similar problem to what you do. So you need to find those groups, and it's really simple to find those groups. Facebook will make it really, really easy for you to find all these pockets of audiences of where you can be, right, of where your target market is. I have got a set of something like 39 or 40 something groups, right, where I can reach around about 2.5 million potential clients. An audience of that side, right, with all these groups. That's where my next clients are coming from. That's where I know my clients are coming from. No hesitation, no doubt. I know that my clients are here, right? So I need to be here. When I first started in business, before I was online, I was offline, right? And for me, it was like logical sense that, well, if I want to get clients, I need to go where my clients were. So I went to networking events, and you possibly heard my story before, right? I went to networking events, and I went to 5, 6 networking events each and every week because I knew that that's where business owners were. This was before I really understood my niche market, and this is before I really drilled down. This was when I was working with lawyers, solicitors, accountants, dentists, like plumbers, everybody. But I knew that I needed to go here because this is where general business owners were, the networking events. So I went, right? So that enabled me to have conversations with business owners that potentially needed my services. When I came online, I used the same philosophy, like logical. Okay, so I needed to understand where my target audience were, and I needed to be there. And that were groups. Now, whether that's LinkedIn groups or Facebook groups or whatever groups, right? I needed to be where my target audience were. So that's what I did. Now, today I've got an audience that I can tap into whenever I want to generate leads and to potentially position my message in front of 2.5 million. Let me just show you this, right? If I was to run Facebook ads for a client, not that I have got an agency anymore, but when I did, and I was running Facebook ads for a client, right, the reach that I wanted to get to was roughly between 1 million and 1.5 million audience size. Potentially, on average, that would give me between 17,000 and 25,000 reach on a daily basis, depending on what the budget was, right? That's less than that. And I'll pay for that. Right? So don't think that Facebook ads is any more powerful than organic. It's not. It's not. Right? But you need to know where your target market is. I'm just checking time because I've got a call in half an hour. Okay. So you need to understand, right, your target market. And then you need to understand, okay, so we understand now and know where I have all my potential clients could be. Then it's the message, right? We've got really 3 message types. And when I say message types, it's like post types, right? That we use in order to gain exposure, to get attention, to get clients. Again, right, going back, exposure, attention. Generally, we use 3 different post types. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to explain what these post types are. And then I'm also going to give you an example. I'm going to show you live. I'm going to give you an example of what these post types look like. So the first one is, I'll write it in block so you might be able to see that better, is what I call your hero story. Right? This is the most powerful post that instantly can generate hundreds of leads in a very, very short space of time. Why this? Right? Well, if you look at your marketplace right now, your marketplace is suffering with a problem that you solve. Now, if you are a coach that helps with the people, that helps your clients overcome the problem that you once suffered with, right? This is why it's called the hero story. Is because right now is your potential clients are still suffering with the problem that you once had, right? Okay, makes sense. Yet you have found a solution, right? And you've overcome that problem. You've walked in their shoes. You've felt their pain. You've felt their problem. You've felt the struggle, right? You've had challenges, similar challenges to what they're facing right now in their world. And through all adversity, right? You've taken that wall down brick by brick by brick by brick. You've smashed through that wall, right? And you've come through the other side with the results that they desire, that they cannot achieve for themselves, by themselves, despite of what they're doing, right? And this is why it's the hero story, because you position yourself as the hero. You position yourself as somebody that's got what they want and they can't get it, right? But they can see that you once struggled with the problem that they're still suffering with. This is why it's the hero story. And I'm going to give you an example of this. Now, it's like, you know, I said, okay, so this won't work for Facebook ads as well, right? I had a client that spent a very small amount of budget. Everybody's talking about you need a sales funnel, you need a back-end system, you need all this stuff, right? You don't. You need the perfect message, the right audience, and you need to attach that message in front of the right audience, right? One of my clients ran a Facebook ad, and literally within around about, I think more than 48 hours, but literally like within 3 days, generated 350 leads. That's because we just created one 2.5 minute video, they're sharing a hero story, and we promoted that like £7 a day, directly in front of their target audience. And that message was so empowering, inspiring, motivating, uplifting, that it just generated all these leads, right? It works, again, organically. You just need to have that perfect message to market match. And I'm going to give you an example. The second post type is what I call just a simple call out post. And that is just a colored background, like short post that gets your target market to all of their hand, right? So you're calling them out. You're calling them out. And the third post is value post. And I'm going to give you examples of value posts. Now, some of this, right, you might have heard some of this before, right? This is not new. This is not rocket science. I'm going to show you examples where I was doing this in like 2017, even beyond that, 2018, 2016. And it changes. Sorry, it doesn't change. It still works today. It still works today. But if you're not out there into the marketplace providing value, right, they're never going to know how good you are, right? They're never going to be able to experience your craft, your magic, your genius, the things that you do. They're never going to experience, you know, your philosophies, your principles, your methodologies, your blueprints, the steps, how you coach people. So value posts are essential. They're all essential. And if you can mix all these things up, right, you're going to blow it out of the water, and you can have leads like turning on a tap, like getting water from a tap. Now, what we need to understand, and I'm going to give you some examples of this, right? But what you need to understand with your marketing message is who exactly do you want to attract? Again, not many people teaching this. Who do you want to attract? The thing is, what you need to understand right now is that your marketplace is 100% full of people that are struggling with a problem that you solve, right? However, not all problems are treated equal. And I'll explain what I mean by that, right? But just because 100% of your marketplace is suffering with the problem that you solve, it doesn't mean to say that they all want to solve that problem, right? In fact, the truth is that 90% of your marketplace are not bothered about solving that problem. 90% of your marketplace ain't interested. There might be at some point, right? But they're not interested. So what does that mean? Right? The 10% of your marketplace are. So you need to understand, okay, so who is this 10% of your marketplace? Because once you understand who this 10% is, I'm going to give you an example. Once you understand who this 10% is, then you can again dial down your marketing message even more. So this is really leveling your marketing message. So it's a perfect message to market match. Because your marketing message, you don't want to attract everybody. You want to repel these people and you want to attract these people, right? Because at the end of the day, you can attract these. And as much as you might want to save the world, you can't save the world, right? You cannot run a business attracting these because these people are not interested in paying. You're a business and you need to be able to attract the people that have got the cash, that's got the problem, that's committed to solving that problem, that's serious about solving that problem, and that's hungry for results, and they're ready to invest. So it's critical that you understand who these people are. And that's going to allow you to really drill down in your marketing message. And again, I'm going to give you some examples, right? But a quick example. So one of my clients, I don't need that. One of my clients, she helps rape victims. Now, when she first came to me, she was serving everybody, like females that's being raped, and potentially even males that's being raped. But she was solving 100% of the marketplace. Now, whilst it's like it's a trauma, right? Being raped. I've never been raped. I can't imagine what it's like. My client has, and that's why she helps other people overcome, this problem. yet not everybody wants to solve that problem, right? So we needed to understand, okay, so who wants to solve that problem and who's willing to invest in solving that problem? So now instead of like targeting everybody, my client is really now just targeting corporate ladies, right? Corporate ladies. That's where she can have the biggest impact. They're the people that's suffering the most. They're the people like this losing thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands upon years because they're not being as productive, right? They're not being as confident in the marketplace, in their business, at work, in the corporate world, and they're losing money, right? And it's having a knock-on effect on the other parts of life as well. And these are the people that's got money as well. So this is where she can have the biggest impact. This is where she's going to attract people that can make quicker decisions, faster decisions, and this got the money to invest. Now, as well, we don't always qualify people on cash. It's important they've got cash because at the end of the day, right, you're running a business and you cannot run a business if you don't have cash flow. So it's important that you need to understand that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump online. I'm going to share my screen. And I'm going to show you some of these post types. Just give me 2 seconds. Jump into Zoom. And I'm going to share. So let me know if this is value to you guys. Again, I'm trying to make it. The thing is what I tend to find is, you know, whilst I can just give you the, like, you know, just do this. I don't really like saying just do this. I always need to provide training, reasons behind it, concepts, theories that allows you to see it at a bigger picture, right? So I give you training of, you know what, this makes sense and you understand the reasons behind it. So I'm going to share, just make sure I've got the right screens open, and I have. So now you should be able to see my screen, and I'm inside a group called 5-Day Free Challenge, Greatness Challenge group, run by Lewis House. You obviously, well, I guess you know Lewis is. And Lewis has been a big influencer for me, and he's helped me you know, immensely over the years I've been in business, right? But inside this group, there's 38,000 potential coaches, course creators, consultants, experts, aspiring coaches, right? Inside this group, all like learning from Lewis. So Lewis has built up this audience that potentially, if I position my message in front of this audience, potentially there's going to be a perfect message to market match, right? So what I'm going to share with you, what I'm going to show you now is like the hero story post. And it's just one post, right? Don't underestimate a post. Now, let me just put this into context, right? People buy after they've read something. If you look at a landing page, people opt into a landing page because they read what's on the landing page, they like what's on the landing page, and they opt in on the landing page so they can get access to a video or access to a document, a ebook or a blueprint or whatever it is, right? And inside that blueprint, inside that document, inside what you're providing them are words, whether it's written, whether it's spoken, whether it's a presentation, whatever it is, it's words, right? A post, look at, I'll say, just before I jump into this, look at a sales page. People buy from a sales page because the words are structured in a way, it's being copywrote in a way that grabs their attention, keeps their attention, maintains their attention, where then they have the motivated, the inspired, and then empowered at the end to do something. So writing a post is no different. It's words. It's words. It's no different, right? It doesn't have less value just because it's not on a sales page. Makes sense, right? So it's like, you know, when I talk to people about this, well, it's just a post, you know, just creating posts. No, it's not, right? Don't devalue it. I'm going to show you why you should not devalue it. This post, I'm going to show you now, is generated over 20 or 20, I think 22K, right? This one post, right? Don't devalue posts. This is an example of a hero story post. I'm not going to read it to you, but if you're part of Lewis's group, you can find me, just do a search on me, and you'll be able to find this post. And you can read it, right? But this is a hero story post. It's positioned to show me in a light that I was in the position that potential clients was, and now I've come through the other side, showcasing the results that I know my top 10% of the marketplace is looking for. I am repelling the 90% of the marketplace. And let me show you, right? When I posted this on the 7th of October this year, 2:30 in the afternoon, so like less than a few weeks ago, generated 178 likes or engagements, and I would say around about 80 or 90 comments, maybe more, maybe, yeah, something like that, right? Now, I know that likes and comments is like vanity metrics. That's not sales, that's not money in the bank. But what it is exposure. It's grabbing their attention. I've kept their attention, maintained their attention, and then they've call to action at the end, right? They've done something. Now, if my story is not appealing to them, then they're not going to read. Understand this, right? If my story is not appealing to them, I mean, like there's 30 or 1,000 in this group, right? Many people would have seen this post and just fled, not read it. But this post has been designed to grab attention of the certain people, right? And I've got attention. So to the people that's liked it, the people that's commented on it, and if you read these comments, it's like, wow, this is unbelievable. This is exactly what I'm trying to do. Thank you for your short story. It resonates with me, right? It's attracting the people that are in the position that I once was. And it's attracting the people that's in the position that I can serve. So whilst right now, these are not leads, these are just getting marketplace attention, right? I can now engage with these people, right? I can start having conversations with my marketplace. There's never been a better time in history where you can have conversations with your marketplace whilst just like sat at home, sat at your kitchen desk, in your office, wherever, right? And then you can invite them into a conversation, you can befriend them, right? And that's where, if you look at the flywheel, where we start nurturing people. But this is how you're going to generate, this is the big flywheel, right? I can go down all these people and I can say, okay, so who's a coach, who's not a coach, right? I have connected with all these people and I've sent messages to all these people, right? This one post has earned me over 20K. Just yesterday, I enrolled a guy that I believe came from one of my hero story posts, right? So that's one message. That's one. That's inside one group. Let me show you this one, right? The same post posted on the same day, same post, same day, an hour later, same post. Now, I've already validated the post again, right? Generated results. Bella, right, is a client. She's a lady. She's the woman who helps people overcome that helps rape victims. Guys, it's so simple. It's so easy. Amount of conversations I have with coaches, and it's like, well, how many conversations are you having today? You know, are you interacting with your target market? Are you generating leads? No, well, I don't really know how to find my target market. You know, I'm posting things out there. Nobody's really communicating with me. It's just tumbleweeds, it's dead. And it's like, okay, well, it's so simple to get the attention of your target marketplace. Once you've done, just look how simple this is, right? So already, like on the October 7th, that one post generated me market attention. It got me market attention. Attention is the biggest commodity today. Right? People think just because somebody's engaged with your post, it's just an engagement. Right? Don't devalue it. Don't devalue it. Right? People think that a proper lead, is when somebody actually enters the name and email address into a sales funnel. Right? No, somebody comments underneath your post that's engaging, that's inspiring, that's talking about a certain problem, right? And they engage with it. That's equivalent to somebody putting their name and email address into a landing page, reading the headline and saying, yeah, that's me, that's what I want, and that's what I need. Right? It's the same thing. Right? Just look at it differently. The gurus are telling you that what you need is a landing page. You need all this complexity to generate leads. No, you don't. You need to get marketplace attention. Let me show you another example. Right? This is a different group, right? This is a different group. But inside this group, 153,000 people. Let's have a look again, same group, right? But this was earlier in the year, and this is a different hero story post type. Same principle, same concept, but just a different post type. And 187 people engaged with it. And I would say, again, roughly around about 90, 100 people commented on it. Look, impressive. Keep it up. So now I can start farming out. I can start having conversations. I can start looking at people's profiles. I can ask them questions. I can find out where they are. I can converse with my target marketplace. Not costing me a thing. Not costing me a thing. Now let's have a look at these call out posts, right? Can you see how quickly you can start like getting target market attention? Very simple post, right? Coaches, what problem do you solve for your clients? Very simple post. How many comments, right? Now, understand that 900% of your marketplace, again, is suffering with a problem. So I call out coaches here. That's not necessarily calling out the ones, the 10%, right? But I wanted to get marketplace attention. I wanted to grab the full marketplace attention. Now it's my duty to go inside there and start conversing with them, finding out where they're at, right? Asking specific questions very, very quickly. Okay, so your top 10%, right? It's so easy. It's so easy. Let's have a look at another example. Same post. Same post, different group. 186 comments. Right? I'm calling out my marketplace. And can you see that this is traffic? This is traffic. And from this traffic, I can engage with them and I can bring them through to my profile, where I'm going to nurture them inside the flywheel while simultaneously having conversations with them in the background. If you're not utilizing and optimizing Messenger, right, you're losing out. Because here's the thing, right? If we go back to this, sorry, if we go back to this, the other thing that you need here is Messenger. That's what's going to tie together. Audience, message, perfect message to market match, Messenger. If you're not optimizing Messenger, if you're not in Messenger every day, communicating with your marketplace, right, you're never going to be able to like convert them. You're never going to be able to convert them. And a lot of people say, well, I don't want to be in Messenger, right? Messenger is one of the most powerful things that you can do today. One of the most powerful tools you can use today. If you don't like it, probably the reason is that you don't really understand how to use it, right? It's a skill set. It's a skill set that anybody can learn, right? As humans are amazing at learning skills. You'll learn this skill set. So somebody will say, well, I just want you to run Facebook ads, run them into a funnel. I've worked with coaches that spend like $20,000, $30,000 dollars a month on Facebook ads. On the back end, they're just using that for traffic. On the back end, they're conversing through Messenger, right? So everybody that's using Facebook ads, they're also optimizing Messenger, because seldom these days are people just watching a webinar and then opting in, booking a call in after a webinar. Yeah, so optimize Messenger, get used to Messenger, understand how to use it, converse with people, understand how to chat. It's a skill set. Once you learn it, it's very easy to very, very quickly to be able to convert people, book calls, and get clients. Let me give you another example here of another post. Sorry, I didn't mean to share that one with you. Okay, so that's back to Zoom. So yeah, what I'm going to share now, so the value post, right? If I jump into this group here, if I just move myself out of the way, hopefully I'm not blocking myself, right? This is the inside the coaching jungle. The coaching jungles, I think it's around about 23,000 group members full of coaches. It's for coaches, the coaching jungle, right? Now, all these posts, because when people say about, well, adding value to the marketplace, what do you mean by that? Is it like one post or two posts? How do I do it, right? Look, all these images, all right, as the amount of value that I have added into this group going way, 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 way back, 2017, 2016, when I pivoted from offline to online. Right? I've been constantly, I think a little bit less these days. I've not been in this group for quite some time, but these are the amount of posts that I've posted inside the groups. And some of these have actually not got much communication on, but because I've constantly been in there, like you can tell, that's a really old post, right? Because I've constantly been in there for years and years and years, adding long story form or short story form posts, right? People have sent me messages because I'm constantly in there. So again, if you're part of the coaching jungle, you can go inside, you can do a search on my name, and you can just look at the amount of value that I've offered inside this group. An extreme amount of value. And from here, I have taken these posts and posted them in other groups as well, right? I've shared them also in other groups as well. And this is when you can actually like dominate your marketplace. I just stopped sharing the screen now. This is where you can dominate the marketplace organically because you become omnipresence. You become omnipresence, right? Omnipresence means that you're seen everywhere. You're in this group, you're in this group, you're posting value in this group, you're asking questions in this group. And because chances are your target market is not just in one group, chances are they're in several groups, right? So they're seeing one post one day, another post another day, another day. And suddenly you're everywhere. And suddenly, like Andy's posted again, or Susanna's posted again, or David's posted again, or Isabel's posted again. And they're consuming your content. So much so that they're waiting for your content. So much so that they're reading all this stuff. And it's like, it's very, very quickly, you built up that know, like, and trust, right? Then when you in Messenger with them, or when you add them as a friend, it's easy. It's the easiest decision for them to opt in to connect with you because you've added so much value. You're adding results in advance of you speaking with them. So, guys, that is as quickly as you can generate organic leads in 24, 48 hours. That's simple, right? You can do that. You can do that. Build out your fundamentals of your business, right? Understand your marketplace, understand who you want to attract, find out where they are, 3 post types. There's no reason why you can't have one of those post types wrote out in an hour, 2 hours, and start posting inside the groups. And start generating leads, start having conversations, and start booking calls. I hope that's been super useful. I've got literally like 5 minutes. This has actually gone longer than I expected, but this has gone, I've got 5 minutes before my support call for my clients. So I'm going to love you and leave you. If you've called this with me today live, let me know. If you've got any questions as you're watching this, don't wait until the end as you're watching through this. If you've got any questions, if you're catching this on replay, then post the questions in the comment section underneath, and I will get back to you. Share any like epiphanies, aha moments. Give me some love, some hearts when you learn something new, or some wisdom that I share that you like. If you want to book a call to really like drill all this in and dial down in this inside your business, and you want to look at what it looks like to work with us inside the 6-Figure Accelerator program, then hashtag call underneath, and I'll reach out to you, or you just feel free to send me a DM, then send me a message, and we can have a conversation inside Messenger, and we'll arrange I'll schedule a call. Or just run with it yourself, right? Run with it yourself. Simple. It really is simple. Don't overcomplicate the simplicity of building, growing, and running your coaching business. Okay, then, guys, it's been amazing. I've really enjoyed delivering this to you or for you. I'm going to shoot. Love you and leave you. Have an awesome day. Speak to you soon.